In this module, I will discuss how to get students involved and invested in your content and how to set the tone for the work they're going to do. It's important and typically most effective to get the learners engaged from the outset to gain their buy-in. While we want them invested, you want it to be more of a willing collaboration versus this investment strategy. I want to focus on a process called onboarding. In this module, we will first cover what onboarding is, then we'll discuss the elements that can go into an onboarding process. And finally, we will touch on why it's important to set the tone for how students will be supported during onboarding. So what is onboarding? Onboarding is a term borrowed from the business world, more commonly referring to getting a new employee integrated into a company environment and culture. But hopefully not like Dilbert. When we talk about onboarding in online courses, it is very similar. It's the process we use to introduce a new student to our community and content. Onboarding is important because just like with new employees in the business world, it creates a foundation where the student is comfortable in the learning environment and creates a foundation where we can later build on their understanding. It creates a process people can follow to feel confident they're doing what they're supposed to do. It motivates them to continue working. It lets them know when they are off track, and it informs them on how to get the help they need to move forward. It is also a time when you can reinforce the habits you want your students to develop with you and your content, like watching lessons, sending in homework, joining communities, and giving you feedback. It's the time in the learning process for you and your students to start getting to know each other and gain a clear understanding of each other's expectations. This is important because it is misunderstandings and badly managed expectations that most often lead to unhappy students. As the person designing the learning experience, it's your job to make sure you communicate early and often exactly what you intend to provide in terms of content, support, and access, and also what you expect from your student in order for them to achieve the goals they have. Finally, truly effective onboarding will include small wins. These are often small actions your students can take and successfully accomplish. This may not sound like a big deal, but it's actually one of the most important elements in ensuring the long-term success of your students. When you start a new endeavor and successfully complete a set of minor tasks, you are predisposed to continue succeeding no matter how complex the tasks are that you face later. Particularly with online courses, when much of the interaction you have with your students will be automated. Effective onboarding is critical to your students' success and their opinion of you. This is where many online courses fail. With no small victories, students might just give up, never to be heard from again. While it may be tempting to think that creating great content fulfilling a real need is enough, it normally is not. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. In our case, we strive to do both. So celebrate small wins. Onboarding is how you can give your students and yourself an edge in a highly competitive market. That's a brief discussion on the crucial act of engaging your students. Now Chris will cover Module 8, creating online collaborative activities.